Good morning, everybody. We are back. John Delarose here. Delarose.com. That's Delarose.com. I am a number one best-selling science fiction author and comic creator. I've got all my links in the description below. If you want to support the channel, support our books, support the comics, that's the best way to do so. We're trying to change culture and bring a little fun back to these environments where SJWs have taken over and started to destroy everything we hold dear. Haven't quite gotten into making board games yet, but we are working on it, and we will be coming at you soon with awesome games and awesome content from people who don't hate you. And that's it. All right. The interesting news and industry rumors of the day is the Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is a review channel primarily, and they really brought a lot to the hobby in the beginning, back in 2010, 2011, back then. They were really the only group out there that was reviewing board games, doing something positive, making it so that consumers could help, find something cool for their purchases. And it was run by Tom Vassell and Sam Healy and a couple other guys. And I really liked it because Tom Vassell and Sam were both youth pastors. They were good Christian men doing something that's family-oriented and a family-oriented hobby. And it was a lot of fun to watch for a long time. They started getting into top 10 lists, and that's kind of where they made their mark. Of people love watching their top 10 videos, and that became a whole cottage industry for YouTube of board gamers making top 10 videos. If you go and find any board game channel at this point, it pretty much copies the Dice Tower's model of making all these top 10 videos about different board games and different genres. You'll get like their top 10 Western games one week or the whatnot. So this has been a very successful channel. They've got millions and millions of views. They have Kickstarters where all the board game industry goes in and actually makes promos for their games to support them and all that. So they're a juggernaut. The Dice Tower can make or break a board game company just by what they're saying on their reviews. And a lot of people have noticed over the last several years that the content seems to be a little more paid and the content seems to be a little more favoring certain game companies. And that's the problem with, of course, monetizing reviews and monetizing top 10 lists and all that, is a lot of these guys get sponsors, and at that point, it becomes wishy-washy as to whether their reviews can be trusted at that point. I personally have always just watched it just to see what the gameplay mechanics are like and make a determination for myself, but that has been something that's been on people's minds lately a lot. Now, the other thing that's happened over the past several years is the Dice Tower's lost people like Sam Healy who have gone on to other things, and they've hired contributors like Suzanne Sheldon. Suzanne is a complete social justice warrior who's trying to push all this like diversity in gaming nonsense, which doesn't even make sense in the context of board games. You're running around with little pieces on a board with your family. It really shouldn't matter what race or gender or whatever you are. But these people want to insert this into everything. It doesn't even have much of a storytelling component like sci-fi or movies or whatever. So you really don't even have an opportunity to push this race stuff on people. But this is exactly what Suzanne Sheldon does. She's harassed a lot of people in the board game industry, including Antlab Games, another review group, where she tried to get them run off the internet because the woman there told her followers that, you should probably be on the lookout and be careful late at night if you're out walking around on the streets around drunk people. It's not a good idea. And of course, she said, that's perpetuating rape culture and the like. She tried to screw with TGG Games over their recent tournament fishing deck builder game because it had a frog on the cover who it had its index finger and thumb put together in the picture, which is just from the frog picture. And she called that a white supremacist symbol and tried to harass them and tried to get them canceled. We've seen it several times with her and several times with newer contributors to the Dice Tower. Because once you allow one person like this, they bring their friends, they bring their next diversity hires, and it becomes a full diversity show. And for some reason, Tom Vassell really has not been able to fight this off and has let his channel really become dominated by these people who have created these controversies over the years. Well, it's very interesting. I've heard some industry rumors from people big in the industry. A lot of people talk to me and give me information, and that's how I've come up with a lot of these topics that no other channels cover. But I've heard that the Dice Tower is on the verge of dissolving, that a lot of these people are going to go their separate ways. Maybe Tom Vassell's had enough of the SJW crap flung onto his channel. I have no idea what's going on there. I can only speculate at this point. But the rumor is at this point that the Dice Tower is dissolving. And this seems to have some validation. And the reason this has validation is if you listen to the Dice Tower podcast, a podcast that's gone on for a lot of years, they say that the podcast itself is going to be ending on number 250. They're on number 240 right now. And so this is going to be the end of it, and the podcast is going away. Eric Summerer and Tom Vassal have done that podcast for a long time. Many people have listened to it for years. It's been a staple of what the Dice Tower is, and that is a interesting sign of change along these people. So we'll see what happens here. This is the rumor, and I will be following along. If the Dice Tower makes any moves in the future, of course, you'll learn it here first. So hit that like and subscribe button. Do you think that they're actually dissolving? I think there's a lot of money on the line with this this channel. I don't know exactly how far they'll go with that, but a restructuring would be very nice to get rid of a lot of these SJWs who are really bringing the channel down as of late. We'll see what happens. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.